Hi, I'm Mark. This is Mark's Tech Vlogs on YouTube, and today I'm going to bring you guys a review of the AOC C32G2ZE BK monitor. Now, if you've been on this channel for a while, you'll know that a little while ago I did a review of a Lenovo curved monitor, and you might be wondering what happened to that monitor. Now, the truth is I moved house and it got damaged in the move, and so the screen just had this massive crack up it, and so I had to change monitor. So now that's aside, let's talk about this AOC monitor. Now, this monitor is actually marketed as a gaming monitor, but it's actually a great all-round monitor, especially if you need a large screen. And of course, the advantage of curved screen monitors is that they bring those edges very slightly closer to you, which makes them much easier on your eyes to use. This is really important if you use a monitor for a long period of time every day like I do as a programmer. So let's kick off this review and talk about the design. So this monitor is largely black in design with some red accents. This includes a red rim along the bottom and some red markings across the back and on the stand. It has really thin bezels all around it, although the bottom bezel is slightly thicker. This bezel, however, still measures less than 1.5 centimeters. That bottom bezel is matte black with a red rim, whereas the rest of the bezels are a slight gloss. The monitor itself is also surprisingly slim. In the box, you get a whole variety of cables and a stand. Now, this stand looks really nice and looks great on your desk. All in all, this monitor, when it comes to design, just looks like a nice modern flat monitor with some nice subtle red details. The back of it also looks pretty cool, but for most users you're never actually going to see the back. So let's talk about spec of this monitor, and let's start off by talking about the ports. Now, this monitor comes with 2 HDMI ports and a DisplayPort. This is great and gives you plenty of connectivity options. It also has a 3.5mm jack out. This is useful if you're using a HDMI port and you want to get the audio from the HDMI out to a speaker. This monitor doesn't have built-in speakers. The screen itself is a 31.5-inch WLED display. This display is full HD and looks beautiful. It has an impressive refresh rate of 230 Hz and a response time of 1 millisecond. This means everything just looks super smooth. It supports brightness up to 300 CDM squared and has a contrast ratio of 4000 to 1. In practice, this means colours look great. There are also a ton of modes and options built into the monitor, and this includes things like auto switch off and also an anti-blue light mode. And then finally, for spec, it's worth mentioning that it has a 100 by 100 VESA mount on the back. This is great for wall mounting and also if you like to use a desk clamp for your monitor, because it means it's compatible with lots of mounts and stands out there. All of that will set you back around £250, which makes it a pretty good value large curved monitor. So that being said, let's talk about a really important thing and what this monitor is like to use on a day-to-day basis. Now, this has been my daily monitor for about 6 months now, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. Thanks to its resolution and its refresh rate, everything on this monitor just looks great, and that doesn't matter whether you connect it to HDMI or the DisplayPort. Now, I use both of those regularly, so I have my work laptop connected to one port and my personal Mac connected to another. For my Mac, it outputs a nice display of 1920 by 1080. You can make this display lower if you like things slightly bigger, but this is perfect for me, especially as I like to get the most out of that big screen. Scrolling on it is smooth, and this is something you really notice when you're editing videos in my case. Now, it is geared as a gaming monitor, and I'm not much of a gamer, but the couple of times I played games on it, it looks great. Now, one of the must-have features for me in a monitor as someone who uses it for kind of 7-8 hours a day is an anti-blue light feature, just because it protects my eyes a little bit. This monitor has that, and I use that pretty much all the time as well. Now, of course, this and a ton of other settings can be adjusted on the monitor. This is done via 4 buttons on the bottom right of it, and like every single monitor out there, these are quite difficult to get your head around. In reality, however, once you've got the initial setup done, you're probably only ever going to switch between input types. And then the other thing worth talking about is what's the glare like on this monitor. Now, I work with a window right to my left, and I find that when the sun shines in a particular way, there is some glare on this monitor. That just means in those cases, I just have to adjust my blind, and this is certainly no more or any less than any other monitor I've used before. And then of course, the curve of the screen helps make this monitor comfortable to work with whilst giving you plenty of screen to play with. And that's it. There's not really a huge amount you can say about a monitor other than to say this monitor is really good. And I guess the real question is, should you consider this one if you're looking for a large curved monitor? And I think the answer is yes. And all of the reasons I've talked about in this video, including the kind of quality of the display and the refresh rate and the screen size, are all reasons you should consider this. Alongside that, AOC also give you a 3-year warranty out of the box. All in all, this is a fantastic monitor. If you guys got any questions, do stick them below and I will answer those. consider subscribing to my channel, giving this video a like, and if you want to pick one up, I have put a link below as well. I'll see you guys again soon.